Everybody, welcome to the South Campus show without Arlo. We're at St. Thomas Becket Parish in Egan, and I'm with the pastor, Father Tim Wozniak, who happens to be a classmate from the seminary. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Good to be with you again, Bob.
It's great. And we go by the way, folks, seminary nicknames, Woz, Whitey, whatever comes out, all right, Woz?
Okay.
You know, we've been doing this with different priests. One question I always ask is a little bit about your family, where you're from. Tell us, what would you say about your family?
Well, I grew up in St. Louis Park. I'm one of 8 children. I'm the oldest of 8. And went through Holy Family, which was elementary, grade school, middle school. And then I went on to Beneld, which at the time was just Beneld, because it was all boys. St. Margaret's was all girls, so it was a separate campus. And then entered the seminary at Nazareth Hall after I graduated from Beneld. My parents are both deceased. I have a sister that is deceased, and did the same kind of seminary training as you did, Whitey. 4 years of college, graduated from University of St. Thomas, and then on to the major seminary, and then was ordained in 1974, as you were. I want to make it clear, though, I was ordained June 1st of 74. You were ordained June 2nd of 74. So I have seniority over you. I just want you to make that clear in this video.
Right, you are, Woz, and I'm number 2, always trying harder. I'll get there someday. But 1974, holy cow, Father, that makes it almost 50 years for you, for us.
Yeah.
Next year, hard to believe, isn't it? Where has time gone?
Mm-hmm.
But I might add, you were a redneck knight. I was going to say redneck, maybe both. Red knight at Beneld, and a fairly good pull-out guard on the football team. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good pull-out guard, and also we needed to go both ways, so I played inside linebacker.
Okay. Wow. Well, and that showed on the SJV intramural football team. I think you may have flattened me a couple times.
Well, no, not you, Whitey.
Or trees.
Trees.
I've
That
run
was
into
trees.
trees.
Yeah, that was trees.
You do remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Hit a tree, was out. Wow, I made it. So, assignments over the course of the years, if we just quickly.
Yep. After ordained, started at St. Edward's in Bloomington for 4 years, went on to St. John the Baptist in New Brighton for 4 years. At that time, I was just wondering, am I being called to the inner city? Is that where I needed to minister? So, went to Basilica, downtown Minneapolis for 2 years. And that was a good experience, but I realized I wasn't really called to that ministry. So, went on to Assumption in Richfield for 3 years, and then pastoring for the first time at St. Thomas Aquinas in St. Paul Park, Cottage Grove area for 12 years. Went on to Risen Savior in Burnsville, Appa Valley for 12 years. And then came here, and actually in my 12th year of being pastor here. Here at
It's hard to
Becket.
believe. Because I remember there was a roast on you when you left Risen Savior. And I was a roaster, and what I remember about that is you turned the tables and you roasted me.
Mm-hmm. In fact,
and
I roasted,
fairly good.
I roasted every one of you who roasted me. Yes.
People were impressed, like, wow, you were on your game that night. But it was fun. So that's 12 years. One thing. So how did you get your interest in the business we're in, parish priesthood?
Well, 2 things. When I graduated, or was graduating from Beneld, I had applied to a particular college, and what happened is my grades were good, but the test scores were not good, the SAT, ACT course. So I was not accepted to the college. I was on retreat with my senior class from Beneld, and I'll never forget, Tom O'Reilly English teacher said to me, "Tim, have you ever considered the priesthood?" And I said to him, "Well, no, not really, I haven't." And so that kind of spurred me to talk to the priest at my home parish. And he said, "You know what? Go to the seminary. If you don't feel it's the right thing to do, then leave and just see what it is." So I did, started at, freshman year, and that kind of the vocation kind of grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. To where, our deacon year, 1 year from ordination, I just really had to make a firm commitment to whether this was going to be what I wanted to do. And I went on retreat with our class to Prior Lake Franciscan Retreat House and just said, "Okay, God, you know what? I got to hear from you if this is what you want me to do, because I'm 1 year away." And remember very distinctly in the chapel there one night, just really hearing God say, "No, Tim, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go on. I want you to be ordained. I want you to be a priest." And so that just kind of spurred me to start, doing some things personally with myself to move on, and then, as they say, the rest is history.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if I've ever gotten a full story on that. Wow. And it's beautiful. And what I get out of that is score poorly in your SAT, and God knows what's going to happen.
God knows what's going to happen.
Well, God does know.
And have an insightful teacher in high school.
But the encouragement.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how that works as you look in the rearview mirror. It was like that was right on. And vocation is something you grow into too. I think you know that priesthood is something you grow into, and that's a beautiful part of it. That's why I never get boring. So here at Thomas Becket, what are the things you like about ministry here?
What I like about the ministry here is really, I really love the staff. I think that we have a staff, and I say we because it's the parish staff. It's not both my staff, but it's a group of people that I really just feel are really gifted people, are people that are encouraging to me, supportive of me, challenging of me. There are people who, if I bounce things off of, they'll say, "You know what, Tim, that's probably not the best way to go. Why don't you think about this, this, or this?" The other one is the really brand. You can say today's the word is the brand or the motto, whatever mission statement is. All are welcome. And I really challenge myself and challenge staff and parish. Do we really believe that? Because when it comes down to the bottom line, you can't say we are all welcome. However, we will exclude. And that's not going to be a goal for me as far as that. And the parish truly lives that out. The people do. The people who come here checking us out will say that they really felt they were welcomed in that, and I love that. The liturgies, I think, are one of the other things that really are a highlight for me. Everything from to music to how the word is proclaimed to the people in the pews and their relationship with me. And again, that's one of those things that you develop that over the years. People have to come to believe in you and trust you and that. I also really love the way that the parish is really strong on social justice, and they really truly live that out also. Sometimes social justice is said, okay, that's like charity. Well, that's part of it, but you know as well as I do, Whitey, that it's not just charity, but it's also how do you work to make the changes that need to be made in the systems. So I just see the parish really opening themselves out to different ways to live that out, both action-wise, but also in changing systems that are unjust.
Beautiful. Well, I can tell your heart is really with the parish and the ministry, and leadership has confidence about it, but also humility about it. I love the way you say, with your staff, hey, I'm not alone here. Let's tell me, and let's do this together. And then it spills over with the people and cultivating their spirituality, and then the ministries that follow from that, and they're all a welcome theme. We're strong on that, St. Victoria, and it's kind of like honesty. You can't be pretty honest. You're not honest. We're pretty welcoming, but we exclude. It has to be all or none. You're all in, and it's hard to live that. And so that's the beauty and the challenge of the church today. What would you say are some of the challenges for you as a priest, almost 50 years now, working for the church, in the parish? Some of the things that are challenging.
Right now, probably the one challenge, and it's a result of COVID, and I believe that all denominations are facing this, but one of the challenges is bringing people back into the worship on weekends. During COVID, that you did a lot of live streaming, or you did a lot of, videoing and then putting that up on your website, and people were staying at home because they needed to. We were shut down, everybody was shut down. So the challenge is how to continue to bring those people back into the worship space and really be a part of community and live within that community and worship in that community. I think one of the other challenges is how to encourage younger people to deeply look at their faith, how to develop that faith, and how to find the church as a place that they can live out that faith amidst all of their questions and their doubts and their worries. I also believe that one of the other big challenges is how do we as a parish, I as a pastor, welcome what is those who feel alienated, and that can be the LGBTQ plus community, people who have experienced divorce in their life and feel alienated, they remarried without a church, and how do we continually reach out to people who are in those life places, and that, and then personally it's just, and I know, at our age, it's keeping up the energy, how do I keep this energy going, and, how much time do I need to take care of myself and that. So that's just kind of one of those personal things, and trying to just also live amongst, we got diversity in everything in life, from the politicians to the political world to the societal, but also in our priesthood we face differences in clergy and priests, and how do you live amidst that and stay true to who I want to be as priest.
Yeah. That is kind of heard it referred to as the great divide. You picked arena, politics, church, the racial issue and all this. And it's really, how do we build bridge builders and build the bridges and make the connections, and that's part of leadership too. So beautiful. Yeah, and you kind of laid those out, and I could relate to all of what you say. It's beautiful. Got to talk about your hats. You've always
hats.
We're going back to the seminary days, but you've always been a hat guy. Tell us about the hat. You got
well,
hats
yeah,
here.
I brought 3 of them here as kind of examples.
Okay.
Way back seminary days, I started just feeling, if I was someplace that I had never been before, or connected with some activity that I hadn't been before, what could be a thing that would remind me of what that was? So I said, I like hats, so I'll start buying hats. So I started buying hats, and then people also heard that I was a collector of hats, and so people would give me maybe hats for, you know, Christmas gift or some other type of gift or whatever, or they knew I was interested in something, so they would give me a hat. You know, I got a guy that brought me a hat from the Masters. He was at the Masters, so he brought me a hat from the Masters.
Okay.
So what I did is I brought 3 hats with me that kind of were significant. One is a USA hat, and it was from the 1980 hockey team, United States
Really?
hockey team, that is the Miracle on Ice, which they won the gold medal in that Olympics that year. And so I got one of those hats from that era. The other one is I'm a real lover of playing golf. I'm not good at golf, but I had an opportunity to go to Ireland on a trip with some folks, and 4 of us decided we were going to play 1 round of golf. So I bought this hat from the Killarney Golf and Fishing Club, which is actually not a golf course also, so we played there. And then the other one I wanted to bring is a good friend of mine, Jim Bird. Jim Bird and his sons own a business called We Are Nuts. And so for the first time this year, they had a booth at the state fair, and they sell nuts of all varieties. And so I just spent one of my days off Monday just working for him for free. So of course I had to buy a hat that says We Are Nuts, you know. And in fact, there's a picture of me with him and our t-shirts and the hat, We Are Nuts. And the staff stole it out of my office and put it up on the wall over there. And it's got the pictures of the 3 pastors, the founder, Tom Brioche, the next one, Bill Murtaugh, and then they put the picture up of me, and it says, and now this guy.
Liz and I saw that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
with
Yeah.
the hat.
Yeah.
How many hats total do you have?
Well, I have over 200 hats.
Wow.
Over 200, yeah. So I kind of had to take them and box a lot of them up because I don't have space for 200 hats. So I just kind of put out the,
Hang them on the wall.
you know, you got them on the wall,
Build
got them in a
another
case, you know, got them on my bed, you know, or not my bed, the bed that's I got in the guest room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny. Well, mine would be binders, right, Liz? I don't know, 3-ring binders.
3 big binders.
Yeah, I'm a hard copy guy. Everything's in a binder. But Waz, it's been great talking to you. I love it that you are flourishing here and love priesthood, and the people love you and you love them, and that's about it. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Good having you.
Thanks, Whitey.
You bet.
Good being with you.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope to see you next week. Not sure where we're going to be, but we're going to be casting live again. Take care.